Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Journey of Gospel Music in the Middle Belt, brought to you by Shield Initiative. Very shortly, I'm going to be having with me a hip-hop artist and a rapper, Esmo Lavida. Woo!
I think I should just do the woo too. Okay, my name is Steven Abutu, also known as Esmo Lavida, which simply means the God kind of life. All right, and I'm honored to be here. I'm a graduate of biology from BSU, Benue State University, and by the help of God, God has helped me grow in my ministerial space. All right, I've been around a couple of states, and I'm still going. And I was about saying amen, but anyhow, amen. All right, so and today, what we're going to talk about today, it's really burning in my heart, and I trust that as you join us in this journey, I believe that your mind will be open. You'll learn new things, and I trust that if you're a minister too, God will help you take over the world for Jesus. All right.
Are you a musician and you're domiciled in Benue, Kogi, Kwara, Nasarawa, Niger, Plateau, or the Federal Capital Territory? Then this is for you. I'm talking about the Journey of Gospel Music in the Middle Belt. It's a platform that seeks to influence gospel music in the Middle Belt using knowledge and excellence as a tool. Here, focus is on the mindset. Over the years, I've had the passion for good music, which has lingered for so long and at last has found its place for expression. So, subscribe to my YouTube channel as I bring to you episodes of impactful and interesting chat sessions with a host of successful gospel musicians and consultants. Also do well to like, share, and comment on videos. It's Shield Initiative. Thank you so much, Esmo, for being here. It's nice.
Thank you for having me. I am honored.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you here also.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go right into it.
Yeah.
Art as ministry. Let's talk about art.
All right, art as a ministry.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the most time when they talk about art, what our mind will normally go to is creative art, fashion, all of those things.
Yeah.
And but I believe that as musicians, we are creatives and we're artists. So in fact, when I was growing up, I really wanted to be, should I say, creative artist? I don't say creative artist, but what I mean is creative drawing. I saw a portrait of a cat or some animal growing up, and I took pen and I drew nonsense.
Oh my God.
I literally drew nonsense, so that. But I told my mom that I want to be an artist because I saw. In fact, I told my mom I wanted to be a lot of things. Right? In fact, there's this guy that was repairing umbrella that passed our house.
Okay.
And I went inside and I carried the umbrella and spoiled it. And I told my mom I want to be very But art as a ministry, first of all, we need to know what art is, all right? Art is actually expressing a particular imagery in our hearts through sound, light, and all of those things, right? That could actually reflect or communicate our emotions to other people. That is what art is.
Yeah.
All right. But art as a ministry, this is an art. Being able to communicate your emotions and all of that involves your skill, involves your mind, involves all of those things, right? So most time, when we talk about art, they tend to differentiate it. They tend to call art one side and call ministry one side, right? And in ministry, God has called a lot of people to different kinds of ministry, and it makes God versatile, all right? Seeing that the generation is evolving, and He plans on gaining the world for Himself. So He's putting in structures, or He has already put into the earth structures to help bring all of us together. And also art as a ministry. But before I start saying anything, I want us to narrow it down to music, right? Because we're talking about church music and then I'll tell you how I started. In fact, the first time I rapped,
They've been laughing.
they've been laughing. Yeah, the first time I rapped, they laughed at me. Oh, they said I should go and join choir. Yes, but I joined and they drove me. So I came back to rap. All right, but art as a ministry, right? Yeah, I think there are three major definitions of art. All right, it falls into representation, expression, and form. These are the three major definitions of art. When you talk about art, there's representation. It's how to represent something in a different form, how to express. So when you see people doing ballet and all of that, expressing an emotion or expressing something, or there's a form. So you see sculptures and all of those things and all. So, but when you now add ministry, it means that this art can be used as a means of reaching the world for Jesus. Yeah, so when you add art as a ministry, so whatever creativeness God has given to you to reach the world for Jesus. And I think that's basically what art as a ministry is. If I actually did justice to what I just so I think that's so the representation, the expression, and the form of a particular thing to help reach the world for Jesus is basically art of ministry. Yeah, this because you actually ask of the art as a ministry, not the act of ministering. So that's why, I'm being careful.
All right. So now that you mentioned the act of ministry, I think it's another thing we also need to talk about. So number 2, the act of ministry.
Yes. In fact, before I said anything, there was a time that I was telling my friends, all right, okay, I'm on the frontiers of Acts of the Apostles. All right, so I was telling my friends that one for events we should bring coffee to the stage.
Okay.
If I should bring 3 coffins.
Okay.
So when we now do a particular song, they will not come out of the coffins and all of that. They'll not say, yeah, Jesus was risen or something.
Yeah.
And all of those things. And as much as it's sounding funny and you bring coffee, but that's an art. That's how it's how to represent something. You're trying to paint a picture of an idea you have. Or probably a message God has given to you. And one of the I think this is how we express or how we reach the world as creatives, as artists, right? Is that we find expression to whatever revelation we get from the scripture. So when a pastor picks the scripture, John 3:16, that says that Jesus for God so loved the world and all, and he's picturing how he climbs the stage to preach. We pick John 3:16, that God so loved the world that he gave, and our mind automatically finds a way of expressing this scripture, this revelation, through an unorthodox means. So we're trying to what do we need to bring? What props do we need to bring? But this is what Leo Tolstoy said about art. He said art, sorry I'm reading, but I have to read this. He said art is a human activity that one man consciously, by means of certain external signs, hands on to others, feeling he has lived through, and by that others are infected by these feelings. Through certain external things, he hands on to others feelings that he has gone through and all. So the act of ministry has like I think it has a couple of myths and misconceptions. Yeah, that a lot of people tend to forfeit within our circle, within this Christendom. A lot of people don't strive for excellence. People just want to go up and just do what they want to do. People are not keen about performance, and people there's artistry in art. How to gain, most time when we hear the act of ministry or ministering per se, people just think about spiritual. I'm a very spiritual man.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are.
Okay. We are. We are not priding, no, but it is what it is. It is what it is. But how do I put it now? I can say that an excellent ministration is the correlation of artistry and spirituality.
Yeah.
All right. Do I need to explain that? It is that you bring artistry in its full form, then you bring spirituality in its full form, then you merge 2 of them together. No one can override anyone. It is that you are giving expression to what is in your heart, so that people can communicate to this truth. Because you are an artist, that's what you should do. All right. So you're looking for props and all of those things. But you see, most times we tend to, as church, and let's call a spade, right? Yeah, we want to go all spiritual on every ministration. Let's just sing probably particular song that gets to people emotionally. You know, there's a way you can just, you know, and this is what I have to say, okay?
All right.
If I was in worship, singing in quotes, worship minister,
Yeah.
there are kind of songs I'll be singing. And like I go for a concert and I sing, if I don't praise, let me not see people on the ground. Or I just go and start chanting, hey, yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Everybody will go. You know, and I think all those things are hack. All right, all those things are back doors to get to people, because you know how people emotions are. They are tied to a particular kind of sound.
True.
So when you start doing all of those things, right, it's easy. You just go up, and if you know how to use your voice, you can just sing it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take from you a lot. All right, if you can pray well and just sing a particular song, but that doesn't make you a complete artist. When we're talking about complete artist, somebody that gives in everything he has for the cause that which God, because if God has called you, right, you are willing to give everything to die for this cause. That's how serious it is. God has called you to be a drummer. It means that this drum, you can die for this drum. Now, it's because this is what God has called you to. All right, is that when you give everything, you're not holding anything back. You can give. God say, give me your family. You give your family for drum. And saying that, okay, this man God is telling him to leave his family and move to Kenya to go and be playing drum. It doesn't sound all right, but you are willing to give all of these things, right? So when you meet people who are willing to go all out, all right, for what God has called them, and in this space, what we're talking about is art and all of that. It is that people they are concerned about their performance. They are concerned about their artistry. And the third thing, I think I said it right now, performance, artistry, I think their dress code, appearance and presentation. Yes. Appearance and presentation. This is what somebody told me. He said that if your dressing can cause more problem than your art can solve, then you have a problem. Wow. That if you're dressing on stage or dressing will cause more problem than your art can solve, then you have a problem. You know, performance is actually bringing your skill and all of those things into play. I'll read something for us then. He said, performance is simply the art of doing the same thing you did during your rehearsals, but this time on a stage in front of people and with minimal mistake. Okay? So the reason you rehearse is to have a good performance, not a good spiritual inflow. So because if it's for the spirit, no, you don't rehearse, you pray, or you try to generate power. But the fact that you rehearse is so that you get a level of performance when you go off stage. And this is what he now said. He said it's the practical execution of creative ideas. In other words, being creative for the sake of creativity. So most times, right, people tend to keep performance aside, not knowing that in keeping performance aside and probably going up to you saying still performing. You know, it's still performing. It's still performing. So they just want to just go up and just, hey, let's go there, let's go there. Don't go to here, don't go to here. I'm not there at all. But within the space of this city, right? There's something God told me, and I think I've said it over time.
Been there.
You've been there. Yeah. God told me
2 events.
Yeah, God told me that we should strive to be excellent at all we do. Right. And I think that the church has no business complaining. If the church cannot, oh Lord, give me words. If the church cannot counter attack or produce sounds and sights that can produce more or better sound and sight that the world is producing. If the church cannot produce that, they'll have no business complaining. Because the world, they are being excellent at their art, knowing that their deity is being involved, their spiritual beings they are bringing into picture here. They are doing sacrifice so that they will blow and all of those things. But despite all of those things, they are still being excellent. They are still giving good sound and sight. You understand? And all of this. So if the church cannot produce something better, right? I don't think we have a business complaint saying that trying to convince people not to listen to a particular thing, because the world now has evolved, right?
Yeah.
You know, there are things that speak too quick to people, like music.
Yeah.
It is very, it's just, that's why you listen to a sad song and you're sad. You listen to a Sapa song and you're broke. No. Let's reason this thing. If you listen to a sad song that the person wrote from his, how will I put it now? The song is gotten from from what he has gone through. That song comes from his heart. You listen to a sad song, you will be sad. That is the idea of music. It is that if your music comes from your heart, comes from a place of experience, which I believe that I've been trying to achieve, that every song, of course, since we're creative, you can write a song about anything, about drum and everything, right? But if it comes from a place of experience, what it does is that it communicates, it affects the other people, it affects their listen. That's why we advise people not to listen to secular songs. Yeah. Because it comes from a different source and it can affect how you see life and change your focus and all. So that's what happens. So if you listen to a sad song, you'll be sad. Then why do you think if you now listen to a Sapa song, you'll not be broke? A lot of people don't know all those things. So like I said, the church has no business complaining if it can produce a better sound. So there's a performance, there's an artistry, there's appearance and presentation. Like I said, if all of these things makes up the act of ministry, the act of communicating who you are to a particular audience. And I think God has set it like that, because there are people who word of mouth will never reach. Never. Most of them, when we talk about this kind of thing, people only see unbelievers. And that's where we get it wrong. It is that when you prepare for a ministration, God is preparing for every set of people that He wants to reach. So God is telling you to be excellent at what you do, so that there are people who are so absent-minded, that not just minded, that they are spiritual absent. Is it absent spiritually? That they cannot deduce or they cannot notice any spiritual thing happening here, but all they can see is excellence. And they are just there, and all they are seeing is excellent. I'll give you a short story. So there's this person I know that gave her life to Christ in a concert, because the person that was on stage rapping or dancing at that point wore a very fine bracelet. That she came out, and story has it that when she was asked, she said she came out to give her life to Christ because of a bracelet. So that guy probably just bought the bracelet like 2 weeks ago and said, hey, this thing will look fine for her, not knowing that God had plans for that bracelet.
Let me guess, it was you?
No, it wasn't. Okay. In fact, at that time I was not rapping. At that time they still see me as boy. Oh. No, it does not mean. This was our guys. So all of these things put together, right, makes the act of ministry, right? It is that we should put to heart, we should bring to our knowledge that there's performance in creativity, in artistry, in art. There's artistry in art, and there's appearance and presentation. How do you present this thing God has given to you? That's why people go to the extreme to paint a picture, just to create a picture of whatever thing the devil or whatever picture they have in their mind. That's why they shoot a secular song and you see naked girls and all of those things. They are going extra to paint. So they are saying it with their mouth, probably about naked girls, but they know that what their words is not actually doing full justice to what they are saying. So they put something to help paint the picture. Sorry, I'm talking too much, but
because that's what we're here for.
yeah. So, but I think that's all of it. That's it. We spoke about those times also. I had to think that, if that stone did not put Goliath, there'll be a problem. So when Goliath was in the wilderness, let's think about it. When Goliath was in the wilderness, as he was killed, David was in the wilderness. When David was killing bears and all of those things, lion and all, he was learning the art of swinging the sling. So David knew how to swing the sling. In fact, this is it. When Saul was being oppressed by demon, and then I say, hey, we have somebody that can play and all of that. They said that this is what they said about David. They said David was skillful. So David knew how to play this thing. But now, when it comes to sometimes you go to some event, you really just want to collect the mic.
Really though.
You just want to what's going on here? What's going on?
What the hell?
What the hell, man? What the hell, man? So I think we should strive for like I said, their performance, their artistry, and and the fact that we try to be excellent on stage, right, does not mean that God is not helping us.
Yeah.
All right. It does not mean that God is not helping us. In fact, the scripture will say that if they say you should go 1 mile, you should go 2. Right? You should go the extra mile. All right. So sometimes you prepare so much for a 5 minutes ministration that you want to ask yourself, why am I going through all of this stress for just a 5 minutes on stage? But you see, it's worth it because God will give His only Son for you. Then why not you go out all for Him? So in fact, this is it. You're being excellent. You're being good at what you do, not necessarily because of the crowd, because of He who has called you.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're saying that no, I will not shame God. I will not shame God. So you're giving the best. You are saving money to buy a particular thing. To want to be good at what you do. You're going the extra mile. To be excellent, not for the people per se, but for God. So every time you show up to present God, you are excellent. Mm-hmm. There's no hey, this thing no they go where, this thing no they go where. Yeah. You are excellent because every time God needs you to show up. Every time God needs you, that's why David will now come and look at Goliath and say, "Who be that guy?" Mm-hmm. But there was Saul there. Yeah, there was King Saul. There was soldiers. He said, "Who is that guy?" I have to swing my sling. Come on now. You understand? He was not trusting the sling, but he knew that, come, I can do this well. All of that. The lack of mastery is one of the main reasons we often hear stuff like, please don't mind my voice, just listen to the lyrics. Or it's not about the music. Oh Lord, let them be touched by the Spirit.
Wow.
See, artistry is the ability of a creative artist to tune his or her skill beyond everyday norm. Simply put, artistry is the creative skill of an artist. So you go up stage and you see people saying, please don't listen. You hear a song that someone is trying to sing a song that you know, and you're wondering if that was how they sang that song, you go hear them. No. Actually, but there are songs like that now. There are people tend to do covers.
Yeah.
People are doing covers. Then you too, you're wondering, what is covering this cover? Is God aware of this cover?
I don't think so.
No, it's not aware. You see that for this thing, I'm just being. Like God will not call and like, come. What give this person? I'm not aware. Take it back. And all of that. But it's the lack of artistry. As in, there's no mastery in this thing. Mm-hmm. People don't know how to do it. And they know how to do it. It's not a spiritual thing. Mm-hmm. You have to give yourself to it to know.
Yeah.
All right. That's what I have to say.
So I could remember there was a time I was rehearsing, and in the rehearsal room we're just playing, and we're singing one of Blaze's song, and we're just grooving to it. And I was like, no, this thing is too sweet. We're going to post it on Instagram. And then when finished, we recorded it, and when I played it and I listened to what I was singing, I was like, no. We cannot post, talking about the mastery stuff. Yeah.